Hello and welcome to the Heretical Gnostic channel. In this channel, I share with you my interpretation of the words of Jesus the Christ as coming from early Christian apocrypha and Gnostic texts. I share this word with those who belong to the Christ and who are His, so that they may see and hear it and return home. This information is free, but if you do find it helpful, please make a donation to me. I'm living in a country where the cost of living is very high and I'm making below minimum wage in this country. I have linked the way to donate in the video description field. If you do spread this video and the information contained within it, please always link it back here so that truth seekers may find the whole context of the information and not a portion taken out of context. It is more beneficial that way. The first thing that I want to talk about in today's video is the soul trap, sometimes called the reincarnation trap. There is a lot of ground to cover as there is a lot of misinformation out there on this topic. In fact, misinformation is one of the greatest tools in the toolbox of the Archons, the rulers, that help to keep the humans imprisoned. Once again on this subject, I recommend Angeliki and Anosto's book, Can You Stand the Truth?, to get a good basic picture of what is happening. It will be helpful and give even more detail and context to what I am speaking of here. The first thing to cover briefly for the sake of the topic today is, who are the Archons? This is a topic which deserves its own video, but for the sake of discussing the soul trap, it is very important to lay the groundwork for this. The term Archons is Greek, which is translated into the English word rulers, and in Gnostic apocrypha, various words have been used to translate this term, among them governors, administrators, powers, but this means powers that govern, authorities, and sometimes principalities in the sense of the in charge of an area or the in charge of something. In certain Christian apocrypha, they are also called robbers, thieves, liars, and murderers. This is really a broad outline of how they came into being as described by many Gnostic texts, which are surprisingly consistent in the broad aspects of the story, but differing in the minute details. Now, there exists a realm, and there is no other English word to describe such a place. Although some have used the word aeon, dimension, reality or domain to translate this concept. There exists a realm who is also a kind of a being, and this being is inconceivable, for it is alive and self-aware but without form. It is the realm in which it exists in, and it is also the reality which exists. There's nothing outside of it, and for the moment, nothing inside of it. It encompasses everything and perceives in all directions. This is incomprehensible to us. This being and realm is called by the Gnostics the invisible, pre-existent Father. This is also the Father referred to by Christ when he speaks in the Gospel of John. Through a process of emanations, the Father created what can be called children. Children is not really the right term, for each child created was an extension of itself, and each extension of itself was a reality unto itself. So then you can see the difficulty in describing such phenomenon using the English language. Create is definitely not the right word. The word that the Gnostics like to use is beget. There are two main emanations of the Father. The first, called Babelo, and the second, called the Son. That who we know as Christ is a derivative of the Son. Now from the Son came many other emanations of being. Among these there existed a being who was of the last to be created. The name given to this being who was last is usually Sophia, but this is difficult to understand as many beings have the name Sophia in the Gnostic texts. This being is also understood as being female, as she is half of a couple, a partnership that involves a male component and the female component. We do not need to get into these details here for the topic of the soul trap. As for the female component, she did not seek union or communication with her male component before she emanated a thought. As she is a being of reality unto herself, her immense power caused the emanation to be begotten nonetheless, and this emanation is known as the first ruler, called Yaldabaoth by many. Yaldabaoth is a mixed being, born out of both the life of the Father and matter or material substance. There is no time in this video to explain how matter or material substance comes into the picture here with Sophia, as well as Yaldabaoth. Let's just take it that Sophia dabbled in matter and created a hybrid being known as Yaldabaoth, who is part matter and part life of the Father. Now, This being then started emanating or creating just as his mother did. Now, as he was born without the communion with the male component of Sophia, he lacked what the Gnostics call the maleness, which is rational thought, contemplation, logic, and reason. So technically, he was born incomplete and lacks this ability. He was born literally unbalanced. This being created a realm for himself using matter and the power of life of the Father that was within him as passed down from his mother. In some texts, it is said that he stole this power from his mother. This realm that he created is a separate realm that is not connected to the realm of the Father, but is contained within the realm of the Father. It has been described as an egg, a cosmic egg with a shell that keeps it apart from the realm of the Father, this shell being a kind of boundary that he created that keeps it apart. Within this realm are all the heavens, the non-physical dimensions that New Age channels will tell you are the 4th, or the 5th, or the 6th, or the 7th, or even up to whatever dimension they like to say, as well as the underworld dimensions, which are the realms of the dead, of the ghosts, of the spirits, and the demons, and of course, the earth. He emanated further beings to govern this new realm that he had created. These are then what the Gnostic texts call the rulers, the authorities, the powers, the governors, the administrators. And in the past, they were associated with the planets of the solar system. You will find that in certain ancient religions, they were also associated with the gods of that religion. Now, many people think that the Archons are demons. This is not true, especially if you define demons in the sense of negative entities. These are not demons as described in any of the major religions, low and dark entities who exist to torment humans and who have grotesque forms and dark energies and feed off or live off these dark and negative energies. The Archons are actually dimensional principles of this reality, and they do not have a specific form. When appearing to humans to carry out works related specifically to the soul trap, they will manifest a form which may be a light being or a demonic being, or they may send a derivative being created from themselves at a lower dimensional frequency. Now, I want to stop here for a moment and give you an example. If you can think of Naruto's shadow clones, it is something like that. It is a manifestation of Naruto, but it is constantly connected to Naruto and knows what he knows. And Naruto knows what the clone knows as well. The Archons have this ability to create manifestations or derivatives of themselves. These then are the prison wardens of the soul trap, and the soul trap is literally the 8th dimension that the Chief Archon has created. There is no way for any soul to return to the realm of the Father from this separate 8th dimension. The souls are trapped here in this 8th dimension that was created by the first Archon, the Chief Ruler. We will jump ahead and not cover the reason why humans got caught up in the whole thing about reincarnation, which is in itself a huge topic. Again, I refer you to Angeliki's book, Can You Stand the Truth?, which also explains this. We will move on directly to the trap now. In many videos online, you will find many speakers talking about the soul trap as a grid that surrounds the earth that exists in a non-physical dimension, usually the astral realm, the so-called 4th dimension, which is the non-physical dimension that is closest to us. Some describe the reincarnation cycle as the trap itself, that for as long as we reincarnate in lifetimes, then we are trapped in a particular system. Others speak of aliens or extraterrestrial entities or lower dimensional beings with great technology or power, sometimes referring to them as beings of the 4th dimension, such as reptilian beings or other types of aliens, that have created a certain kind of matrix that keeps us isolated within the physical plane, which is the 3rd dimension, as well as the 4th dimension, the immediate afterlife plane. What they do is that they carry out the process of sending us back to the earth for another lifetime, constantly cycling us between the 3rd and 4th dimensions without being able to get to the so-called higher dimensions, such as the 5th or 6th or 7th. Others speak of the Archons as mind parasites or negative archetypes that are meant to exist in order to challenge us and force us to grow, and are essential for soul evolution. Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that these are all not useful and are not the truth. All of the above is not useful. Some of it may exist, some of it may be true, and some of it is false. But it is hard to tell, and there is no point getting bogged down with it, as that in itself is a tactic designed by the Archons to keep you from trying to find the way out of the soul trap. All of the above ideas can be discarded with no threat to your final salvation or liberty. Let me repeat that. All of the above ideas can be discarded with no danger to your final salvation or liberty. Let those with ears to hear, hear. The first thing to understand is that, as mentioned before, the whole dimensional reality, the whole realm that was created by the chief ruler, is the trap. This includes all entities and all beings who were created as part of this egg dimension, as derivatives of the Archons. But wait, you say, aren't we created by these beings as well since we exist in the egg? And the answer is yes, and also no. We can find more information about this in the first Apocalypse of James from the Nag Hammadi Library. We were created using the life of the Father, and we belong to the Father, not to the chief ruler. As all life that is created with the life of the Father is one with the Father and belongs to Him. That is why there is this idea of a trap. Again, I'm oversimplifying this whole idea so as to fit a YouTube video, and I hope that in subsequent videos I will get to explain in more detail what this is all about. So part of us is a derivative being of the Archons, and part of us is not, for it comes from the Father through Sophia. Some people think that if we escape 4D, we escape the soul trap. That is not true. We only escape the soul trap if we escape the egg dimension. If we do not leave the egg dimension, we remain trapped. Then there are those who believe that there are positive or good entities who are wanting to help set us free. This is a trap created by the Archons as well, this idea. There is no such thing. The Archons are a race of beings emanated from the Chief Archon in a variety of possibilities, including positive and negative forms. In the ancient texts, there are 12 major Archons or dimensional principles, and 7 of them are what we would call positive, and 5 of them are what we would call negative or mixed. Angels of light are Archons. Ascended Masters are Archons. All channeled entities are either Archons or derivatives of Archons. All councils of light or wisdom are Archon fronts and Archon controlled. All geometric forms of consciousness that exist as forms of light, sound, wave, and mathematics are Archons. All emotions are Archon created or derived, even what we call today as love. In the Father, there is no such thing as emotions. They do not exist. There is nothing in this realm, that which we call the chief ruler's egg, that is not an Archon or Archon derived, because ultimately it is all derived from him, because he has created the entire egg dimension. It literally is him. Except us, the humans, who were created with the life of the Father, this part of us is alien to the chief ruler, for this part of us does not derive from him. Now at this point, there are many loopholes in these statements. In due time, we will sort out the loopholes. To continue, there are no higher dimensional beings who are Buddhas or Masters or Gods or Councils of Wisdom or Angels who have our best interests at heart. And these are the same beings who are spoken of in religions, in NDEs as well as in channeled texts. When people have NDEs or trips and see beings of light with no forms or just geometric forms, or maybe hear voices and feel sensations of being loved, these are all Archon tricks as well. I cannot emphasize this enough because many think that Archons are demons, but this is not true. Archons are beings of light as well. In NDEs, people do report seeing Jesus or Buddha or other such divinities, but these are illusions created by the Archons to fool us and keep us within the trap. People also report feeling loved and feeling enveloped, but this is also part of the Archon's ability. All the bodies that we possess are their creations. They can make these bodies do whatever they need to us, to make us feel things or sense things in order to carry out their agenda. Indeed, Archons are everything. They are in everything because they are part of this dimension, because they are derivatives of the nature of the chief ruler who created this whole dimension. They are the pillars of reality of this dimension. Therefore, they partake in every aspect of this dimension and exist throughout the whole cosmic egg. The true Father and the Christ exist outside of this egg. Hence the term above the heavens, for the heavens only refers to the realms within the cosmic egg of the chief ruler. Now maybe to put it in a modern day scenario analogy, which maybe more people can relate to. Maybe some of you have seen police shows on TV or cop shows, and how in the interrogation room they use this good cop, bad cop scenario where one cop appears to be concerned for the welfare of the suspect, while another cop wants to beat up the suspect. That is exactly what the soul trap is. It is the two different cops playing different roles, trying to get you to confess to something, one being positive, one being negative, but both wanting the same thing and both working together to get you to give up what they want. And in this analogy, it's not just the policeman. The whole police station is the soul trap. All the things in it are the soul trap. The procedures, the rooms, the other police there, the other cellmates, everything. Everything is there as part of the trap. You will not be free until you step out of the whole police station. You could be in a nice waiting area or you could be in a jail cell, but both places are still in the police station, still within the soul trap. You can't go anywhere in the police station without surveillance and without policemen looking at you. They know what you are doing as long as you are inside the police station. The only way is to leave the police station, and that is what we have to do. Leave this egg dimension that is created by the chief archon. And that, my friends, is the only way to be free of the soul trap. Join me next time as I interpret more of the message of the Christ.